Let me ask you a question. Would you ever sit down at a chessboard with a grandmaster and make a move without first studying the board? Of course not, because every square matters, and the moment you move blindly, you've already lost. Now here's the truth. Sales and marketing work the same way. The market is your chessboard. Before you push a single pawn, before you run an ad, launch a product, or pitch to a client, you need to study the board. That's where real strategy begins. And listen, if you're serious about growing as an entrepreneur, sales professional, or marketer, stay locked in. This episode is just the first of 33. We're breaking down the entire game of chess into sales and marketing lessons that will change the way you approach business. So hit that subscribe, because this series is your playbook. Concept 1, awareness before action. In my 20-plus years in sales, marketing, e-commerce, and business intelligence, I've seen more businesses fail from moving too fast than from moving too slow. They jump into campaigns without knowing the terrain. They chase customers without understanding segments. That's like playing chess without even looking at the board. Type this in the comments if it resonates with you. I do not venture into the game without strategy. Because awareness before action isn't just a chess principle, it's a survival rule in business. Concept 2, controlling the center equals market share. Now let's talk about the center of the board. In chess, whoever controls the center controls the game. In sales and marketing, the center is where influence and attention converge. Think about it. For e-commerce, it might be Amazon or Jumia. For fashion, it could be Instagram or TikTok. For B2B services, it's often LinkedIn. The players who dominate those center squares naturally extend their influence across the entire market. So here's a nugget. Find your center and control it. Don't waste resources fighting for squares on the edges. Platforms or channels where your customers aren't even paying attention. And if that principle is landing for you, drop a quick comment. I play for the center, because that's what separates amateurs from professionals. Concept 3, competitors on the board. Now here's another truth most entrepreneurs ignore. You are never alone on the board. Competitors are moving against you. They're fighting for the same customers, the same market share, the same attention. Ignore them and you'll get blindsided. In project management, we call this risk analysis. In marketing, it's called competitive intelligence. Whatever the name, the principle is simple. You must map the other pieces on the board. Ask yourself, where are your competitors strong? Which squares are overcrowded? Which spaces are wide open, waiting for you to claim them? Because the biggest wins often come not from fighting where everyone else is, but from stepping into open squares where no one is looking. If you've ever spotted a market gap before anyone else, type in the comments, I see the open square. That's the mark of a strategist. Concept 4, the Netflix versus Blockbuster lesson. Here's a story. Blockbuster was the king of physical rentals. They owned their square. Netflix looked at the same board and saw a gap. Streaming. At first it seemed small, unimportant. But over time, that square became the new center of the board. Netflix captured it. Blockbuster never recovered. That's the power of reading the board correctly. It's not about moving faster, it's about moving smarter. So ask yourself, what's the streaming square in your industry right now? That's where you need to position your pieces. Now let's make this practical. Here's an exercise I give to executives when I'm consulting. Take a sheet of paper or type "I want" in the comments for the free Cre8ivemindz Nano Business Market Map Worksheet I've prepared for you. At the center, write your product or service. Then around it, fill in 4 things. Your customer segments, who you're serving, your competitors, the players on your board, your distribution channels, the lanes where your moves travel, your challenges, the obstacles slowing you down. Now step back and ask yourself, where's my true center of influence? Which squares are overcrowded with competition? Which ones are wide open with opportunity? That simple visual isn't just a sketch, it's your market map. And once you see it, your moves stop being random and start being strategic. If that hits home, type this in the comments. I do not venture into the game without strategy. Let's land the plane. The board is the market, the center is market share. Your competitors are pieces, and the open squares? Those are your opportunities. The best players don't start with moves. They start with awareness. And the best marketers don't start with ads. They start with research. So here's the takeaway. Before you move your first pawn, know the board. Because in both chess and business, strategy always beats speed. And remember, I've created a free Cre8ivemindz Nano Market Map Worksheet to help you practice this. If you want it, type I want in the comments. If this episode gave you value, don't stop here. Episode 2 is about pawns, the smallest pieces, but the foundation of every major win in sales and marketing. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Subscribe, leave your comments, and remember, I do not venture into the game without strategy.